It's late night on the East Coast of the United States, and I just heard Donald Trump threaten Iran with nuclear holocaust, riffing with journalists at the Washington reflecting pool, which he wants to paint. He said if Iran doesn't sign the deal, all you will see over Iran is a glow. It was very clear to anybody who's listening that what he was referring to was the glow of a nuclear holocaust. The President of the United States is threatening Iran with nuclear holocaust today. By my count, this is the third time in 2 months that he has threatened complete annihilation of Iran. The first time was a civilization will die tonight, never to come back. The second time was we will blow them off the face of this earth. And today, if Iran doesn't sign the deal, all you will see is a glow over Iran. The question is, 3 times he has threatened nuclear annihilation, because that's what it is. How else is he going to wipe out civilization, right? If he gives such an order to the commanders of the military, are they going to carry it out? Will they execute such an order? Well, he is the only president in the world who has a precedent of a president giving such an order and it being carried out. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Do we consider those war crimes? Was it genocide? Was it a crime against humanity? No. It was justified as stopping the brutal Japanese, and it was justified as if we didn't do this, the war would have gone on and more than what we killed would have died had the war gone on. Was Eisenhower considered a war criminal? No. At least I am unclear. If the President of the United States orders nuclear holocaust upon another country, what are the guardrails? There are no guardrails for this president. We know that. And he's been given immunity by the Supreme Court for actions he takes as the President of the United States. He has been given absolute immunity for that. So, is this considered an illegal order? I at least have no idea. This was talked about as a third, fourth segment on news shows tonight. It wasn't the number one issue. Kash Patel's drinking habits seem to take precedence over the fact that the President of the United States just threatened Iran with nuclear holocaust. And he may well give such an order. No, but it wasn't the number one issue. And that is why I am so shaken up and so horrified. That because he's done it 3 times now, we absorb the shock of an entire civilization will die tonight, and we're perfectly ready to move on when he does it again and actually illustrates with his hands. All you will see over Iran is a glow. I am horrified that it is not the number one and only issue that every single journalist wants to talk about. And while he was riffing, he called a journalist disgrace, stupid, and now everybody's saying that what he mouthed as he was moving was that she's a bitch. No surprise, she was a black woman. And what was the question? As he was standing at the reflecting pool, why are you working on these projects when people are having a hard time affording gas? Look at the gas prices. So of course he went off on her, calling her names. The President of the United States doesn't know the difference between the futures market and gas prices at the pump. Or maybe he wants to gaslight his supporters. He says, oh, the prices came down dramatically today. Don't you know that? The stock market was up. Well, actually, the stock market was down today. The futures market coming down a few dollars is having zero impact on the price of gas. The US is running out of reserves. The last few tankers have arrived at their ports. Nothing is moving from the strait unless they're sneaking by with 4 million barrels from the UAE, or Saudi Arabia is now exporting 50% of its capacity out of the Yanbu port, scared witless that the Houthis are going to get involved. The President of the United States has no desire to let anybody know that the futures and what is the price at the pump are really far apart. But no matter, he blithely tells the world that he's prepared to commit a nuclear holocaust on Iran. Now, the reason why this is a war crime is, one, it terrorizes a civilian population and they panic and lives are lost just in that level of panic. Number two, other nuclear states don't know if you're kidding. Other nuclear states start preparing for a nuclear attack. Other nuclear states start thinking that their enemies will use this potential nuclear attack as a way to attack them. So, they may take preemptive action. See the problem? Just by saying something like that, you can create a nuclear holocaust. But more importantly, you're terrorizing 93 million citizens of Iran, men, women, and children. That in itself is a war crime. Donald Trump has carved his name into the annals of war crimes already. The problem is he has the power to order a nuclear holocaust. And I, for one, have no idea what happens in the event today, these days, not 1945. What happens these days if a president of the United States orders nuclear holocaust? If anybody thinks this man is in his right mind, then they need to have their head checked. This man is very unwell, and he seems to be careening, whatever that word is, into a disaster where we all may go down with him. How does anybody think this man is sane? 3 times in 60 days he has threatened nuclear annihilation. And tonight, those who are meant to hold power to account consider it not the most important matter to discuss, although they agree that what he was saying was that he wanted to commit a nuclear holocaust. But even then, they didn't think it should have been the number one topic. Kash Patel's drinking habits seem to be more important right now. In the scheme of things, is that more important? So, at least for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you, this is shocking, stunning, and sickening that the President of the United States has threatened Iran with nuclear holocaust.